Alright, welcome to Sacktown, Benelli. This is Steve going for a ride on the Benelli TNT 135. Testing the audio, making sure the setup all works pretty well. Filming on a older GoPro Hero5 Black that I have. Kind of got it set up for motorcycle helmet, and got the camera placed in front of the chin, just testing this kind of thing out, see how it works. Got inspiration from quite a few moto vloggers and YouTube content creators, motorcycles in general, and also specifically the Benelli TNT 135. One of the YouTube channels that I really enjoy and like and think does a fantastic job with the information they have is Eric over at Kraken's Garage and Adventures. If you haven't seen Eric's channel before, go check it out. He does a fantastic job with his Benelli TNT 135 videos. Very knowledgeable gentleman. In fact, I used his video to do the speedometer fix, and I'm within 1 mile per hour of what it's showing. The bike's a little bit faster than what it shows on the speedo, but that's okay. It was 10% off when I first got it before the correction, so thank you again, Eric at Kraken Garage and Adventures. In addition to Eric's channel, there's a couple other ones that I really like. I like DanDanTheFireman, who was a former MSF, Motorcycle Safety Foundation course instructor for his state in Arizona, and also an EMT fireman. He does a lot of safety videos and training videos on how to ride, as well as takes a look at quite a few motorcycle crash or near-miss videos and kind of deconstructs them and articulates what the rider should be doing in safe riding and practicing your riding skills. So I like his channel quite a bit. Of course, I like Yammie Noob, big personality, lots of gear and bike reviews, as well as advocates for safe riding. He has a really good channel. MCrider does a fantastic channel. Very, very safe. He was a former, or maybe still is, Motorcycle Safety Foundation instructor for his state in Texas. Who else? For short riders and kind of short rider insight, I don't have a huge inseam. I think I'm at 31 inches or so on my inseam. I stand about 5 feet tall, 215 pounds. But for a short rider perspective and tips and tricks on muscling around bigger bikes, not that I need it with this one, Doodle on a motorcycle, her channel is really pretty good. Also another motorcycle channel north of the border up in Canada, Ryan with FortNine, is pretty good. So anything that I make out of this channel, if it does become anything, and basically I don't expect that it will, I'm just kind of videoing and playing and toying around with this for my posterity, and so I can watch my rides and whatnot, but a lot of it will be kind of just stream of consciousness. But all these content creators deserve, you know, hats off from me. They've given me great inspiration and the desire to take up motorcycling. At this late age of 52, this month I've just recently got my M1 endorsement in my state of California here, after doing an R safety course, etc. So I'm liking the hobby, enjoying this quite a bit. So yeah, for inspiration, all the guys that I've kind of cited before, and there's probably other ones I've watched, Moto Jiu-Jitsu, etc., that I've forgotten, but I take inspiration from those and kind of standing on the shoulders of giants with anything I produce on my channel. And this is the first video, kind of testing the audio setup, make sure it's working pretty well. I've had the bike a week today, and I've got about 147 miles on it in this month of October. And this last week, trying to break it in, trying to stay under 3,000 RPM, I'm sorry, 6,000 RPMs for the first 600 miles. I understand that's the recommendation for all my research that I've done, so trying not to redline it, trying to just break the engine in by city driving instead of freeway. Well, you can't actually take them on the freeway here in California. Legally, a motorcycle has to be 150 cc's or better to go on our highways, freeways. And this little puppy stock just ain't getting it. So yeah, but anyway, the break-in period, just kind of riding around, hitting stop signs and stoplights and whatnots, just to check it out and test it out, see how it's working. And I'm a new rider, so I'm still making mistakes, but trying to remember everything I've learned in my safety course. And you know, I'm not a stunt rider. You know, at some point maybe down the line I'll learn how to wheelie a little bit, but that's not really my game. I kind of think of this as just a kick around town bike, not literally kicking the bike. For those of you that aren't native English speakers, that's kind of idiom or a phrase, just a bike that you use just to kind of get around. That's not so important, a kick around bike. But this thing is quite fun. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, good little bike. For a while I was looking at the Honda Grom, and it's got a big brand name and a good aftermarket parts community going on, and a good healthy community there. But Benelli was the first one to bring a 5-speed to this particular game. Honda did it the year following, so now Honda Groms have a 5-speed, but they used to not. And I like the fact that this Benelli has a upright motor rather than the lean over on the side motor, and air cooled, oil cooled, so I like that quite a bit over the Grom. The feature that I wish this bike had as opposed to the Grom is actually on the 2022 Groms they have a gear speed indicator, and this doesn't have one, so you gotta do it old school and just remember or count how many gears you're in, which isn't too hard. But having a gear shift indicator for a new rider is kind of a nice feature. Let's double check. I can't count the amount of times, you know, just learning the bike that I've tried to shift into 5th gear when it's already in 5th gear. So, you know, but one of the things I really do like on the back end of the bike, I'm sure if you found my channel you've probably looked at a Benelli TNT 135 before, but the back end has the tail turn signal lights. They're kind of integrated into the tail of the bike, as opposed to the Honda Groms, which stick out a little bit on posts, kind of like the front ends on this guy. I don't know if you can see that, but the back on the Groms have that, whereas the Benelli, they're more integrated flush with the tail, and I prefer that look a lot. So yeah, really pretty satisfied with the purchase here. I got mine from John over at NorCalScooters.com, and his scooter shop over there in Rancho Cordova, suburb of Sacramento, and treated me pretty well with my state licensing and taxes and fees, etc. This Grom, and it's a 2022, was $3,500 out the door. So not quite as expensive as the Honda Groms. I think the Honda Groms are at about $33.99 or $34.99 before any fees and licensing and setup, so I don't know what they go for out the door. So yeah, nice day today. We had our first big winter storm with high winds and rain. Started on Sunday and went through this morning. It cleared up probably at about 10 o'clock or so, and you got the sun peeking out of some of the clouds. Not too bad on some of the flooding in my particular area, suburb of Sacramento. But that's what I get for trying to do it in second gear instead of first gear. That's where that gear indicator light would help out. So yeah, had a big storm, and weather cleared out. It's going to be nice for the next couple days, but the ground and stuff's all super saturated. There has been a report of flooding in various areas, and some of the burn areas up in the hills in California have experienced rock slides, because the trees and the grasses and the foliage that normally anchor the soil and boulders in burned. And so when you get a big rainstorm, a lot of water deluge like we got over the weekend, then it makes for mudslides. So quite a bit of that happened up in the foothills. But down here in the lowland suburbs, it's looking pretty nice day. Yeah, that's going to take some getting used to. The blinkers don't turn off by themselves. I'm still used to my pickup truck, my Toyota. You complete a turn, it automatically stops your blinkers. Motorcycles, not so much. You got to push the button in. So as a new rider, generally sometimes I may forget to do that, but I'm trying to be conscientious of it. And 150 miles, all right. Edging that much closer to the 600. Alright, well, I sure do hope this footage panned out, and hopefully you enjoy the video. Don't forget to like the video if you appreciate it, subscribe to the channel. It's just starting out, so any support you can give me my way, that'd be fantastic, and I'll catch you in the next one.